We're back. All right. So we're talking today about secrets and jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this topic was inspired by two different
A show and
shows and a movie.
a reality TV show
Yeah,
and a movie.
that we watched. They were inspired by them, and we figured we should just come out here because a lot of people are dealing with these issues, and we figured we should just come back and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what's your take on secrets? Let's start with secret first. We'll talk about the topic first, and we're going to review the each one of the shows or the movies. So, there's a show, there's a reality TV show, and there's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, which one? Let's talk about secrets first. How destructive do you think? Do you think secrets are okay in a marriage? Do you think it depends? What's the first thought that comes to your mind when I say secret and marriage?
When it comes to marriage, secrets, you're not supposed to have any secrets.
No.
But I will also say it depends. Because some secrets they're not harmful. Like if it's something that has to do with your past before the marriage that is not relevant, I don't think you need to share that. Like people want to talk about their past relationships, except if you have like a child, you need to let your spouse know. If it's something that you know can affect your marriage,
Right.
you need to let them know. But if it's something like you were wild when you were younger and all that stuff,
Right.
that you don't have to share that. You know, there are people that are actually ashamed of that and they keep that part like, oh, it's like a secret. If my spouse gets to know, they might not like me because they used to be wild back in the days and then they became an SU and stuff like that.
Right.
But then if it's something happening right now in your relationship, it's kind of dangerous keeping a secret. The reason why you're keeping it as a secret is because you know it's kind of, it's not going to end well.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So same thing happened. So it wasn't music. They just slapped it on YouTube again.
What happened?
Yeah. So we're only live right now.
Oh my God.
We're only live right now on. The best thing is always search for Lola and Ola. That's why we're on all these platforms, all the different platforms. So I don't know what's going on. We will end up uploading it anyway.
Okay.
So maybe
one day we'll figure it out.
Maybe that's just what we should do. Like because we shared it on to the group now. Which you're not. It's not a group. It's a broadcast. So whoever doesn't know how to find it, that's unfortunately sad. But yeah, we should still be live on Facebook. But YouTube is acting out. And thank you so much, Instagram, for being here. We'll talk about secrets and jealousy. Secrets and jealousy is what we're talking about. All right. So for that reason, what we're going to tell you is that at the 1 hour mark, we tend to go over time. We're supposed to be 1 hour, but we tend to do 2 hours because this secret gets very, very, these secrets. These conversations get very, very deep, and then
maybe you have continue. A secret you want to share.
Maybe I do. Maybe we're going to do an exclusive here today, maybe not. Right. But at the 1 hour mark, you may have to go join us on Facebook. All you have to do is search for Lola and Ola on Facebook. Let's make sure we're still live on Facebook, right?
Let's find out.
Make sure we're still live on Facebook.
It's a struggle.
But YouTube is. I just literally submitted an appeal and say, what the hell? So let's see here. There's okay. Are we? What's going on here? Let's see. Interesting. All right, so
what's going on?
Okay, yeah, we're live on YouTube, on Facebook. So you will have to search for Lola and Ola on Facebook. You'll find our page, and you can easily join us at the 1 hour mark. So for now, let's just hang out and have some fun. All right, so secrets. Now, jealousy. What's the first thing that comes to mind when I say jealousy and marriage? I get your point. Secrets is basically some things you're better off leaving them out.
If it has nothing to do with marriage, I don't believe in, all that hello nonsense. Like
You don't?
because you can have a spouse that's insecure or they're not fully there yet. You don't want to be rubbing them off by telling them, oh, you know, when I was back in the days, you know, I used to be a player. You don't want to say all that nonsense. Well, what benefit is
You're
that?
talking about you as a man or a woman?
Man, no, woman, no. Why you are wild sowing your royal
So as a
oats,
woman,
you shouldn't be sharing all that.
so as a
It's not
woman, if I
necessary.
come to you and I say, back in the days I used to be a player and I'm trying to date you,
So men will look at you sideways. Okay, it will start to affect them. You have to know your spouse, know what you have, and know how to apply wisdom when discussing certain things.
does that make you feel some type of way?
Me?
Yeah,
No,
like
I don't care about your
if
past.
I come to you and I say, hey, you know, back in the days I used to, you know.
No, I don't care about that.
You don't care?
No.
Okay.
Now, if you have to point people out to me and say, you know what, that person is my ex, that person is my ex, that person is my ex, please keep it real. And
keep it real. What do you mean by that?
I'm saying if these are people that I don't want to know your ex, why would I want to know your ex? What if they still come around?
Why?
What
Because
if we
you're
meet in places?
Because you will be jealous?
Not because I'll be jealous, because I just won't be comfortable with them. I don't know their intention. I don't know their motives. I don't want to know about your ex. Your exes.
They're not in the picture. I'm just narrating I'm just telling you.
I'm telling you.
I'm just letting you know that person over there used to smash. That one I used to smash.
Okay, let's use church as an example. Maybe you've dated a few people in your church, and now you and your wife go to that church.
Right.
Is it really necessary to point out to your wife that, oh, you know that girl used to be my girlfriend? That's dumb. Why would you want to do that?
Why? Let's talk about
because these are real people and real feelings. In these are like okay.
So you're concerned about them?
The way we handle our own emotions is different with the way you guys handle yours. Even some men, they can't stand it to know their wife's exes. They'll be shaking. I'm not talking about the men. I'm talking about women now. Why are you talking about
because
women?
You're a woman. I'm asking you. You're a woman. You would know what it feels like. So I'm trying to get to the.
I don't want to know your exes.
You already told me you don't want to know.
Yeah,
got that part.
I don't like to know about
I got
stuff
that.
like that.
You don't want to know
because I don't want to be looking at that person sideways. I don't want to be judging them.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't. If they act a certain way now, I'll feel like, what are their intentions? I don't want to think about stuff like that. So I don't think it's necessary. Okay. But some people think it's okay to share, you know, your past history, your stories I don't think it's.
I mean, or sometimes she just.
How come you haven't shared yours with me since we've been married for like what? We're going to be 13 years this year.
You were my first girlfriend.
What do you mean? I've known you for 16 years. You
were my first girlfriend.
Okay, what about the girls that you've smashed in the past?
Who said I smashed? I was a virgin.
Excuse me, you were no virgin. You had your moments of hoism, so you didn't share that with me. Okay? Yeah. You haven't, and I've known you for 16 years. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, some things like you said, you know, but that's me from a man's standpoint. That's why I was asking you from a woman's standpoint. Are there some things that you rather not share, or that you think that you advise people like, no, don't share that part? And now you've told me that there are some things. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to make sure that we don't trip things over here, right?
Oh my God.
So, you know, now that we know that we shouldn't have to share everything, give me an example of what should be shared. And
I told you, whatever is in your existing, like, while we're married right now, we should be open to sharing everything.
Okay, so anything before?
It's not necessary. It's up to the person, actually. If you feel like you want to share. But me, I feel like if it's not relevant, it's not important.
Right.
That's how I feel.
But how do you measure relevance? Some people say, if you did it, it's relevant. I want to know. How do you measure relevance?
Why would you want to know anything about my past? What does that have to do with where we are now?
Maybe that tells me everything about you that, you know, I want to gauge your level of loyalty.
Maybe you're insecure. I'm sorry. Maybe, I don't want to share. I still won't share.
Maybe I'm insecure. But
I won't share.
I don't know if I'm insecure or not, but I just want to know. I know that I want to know. I'm not sure if I'm insecure, but
you want to know my ex-boyfriends, what they look like, so you can start measuring yourself, comparing yourself. It's not necessary. It's not healthy.
So women don't want to know that.
I, as a woman,
You don't want to know
I don't
my
know
exes.
if other women want to know, but I'm not that curious. I don't want to know.
You don't want to know my exes. Not
I don't
even
wanna
just wait. What if I just want to share so you can know that? Don't feel yourself.
You've dated like Baja to show off.
Don't feel
I bet.
yourself. Maybe I don't want you to feel yourself too much. You can see how pretty the girls have smashed in the past, and just so you can know your level at any point in time.
I don't understand why you want
That wouldn't make you feel like, if you see a girl that has smashed in the past and she's very pretty, that wouldn't make you feel like, I'm the queen now. That wouldn't make you feel that way.
I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, Jerry. I beg. All these things, it's like, sometimes there are people that you've dated in your your past that know their place. But there are also some that don't know their place. When they see you, they still want to be jolly. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Hug too much, almost pecking you and all that stuff.
And that will make you feel how?
If I know, and maybe the girl is just a person that is so forward,
maybe she's extra.
She's extra. She's extra sauce, I'll be catching feelings like, what's wrong with this one? I would want to check her, and it's really not necessary. I shouldn't have to. Is my point.
All right.
So for my own, energy, my space, my peace of mind, I'd rather not know. And what I don't know is not going to kill me. I truly believe that.
Now, if you don't know,
this dude, what's going on here?
if you now know, is that potentially a problem later on?
They can't come into my space.
Even if the person is very close, like a close friend.
Well, I don't want them around me.
Okay.
I don't want them around my kids.
All right. So let's my thing about secrets, we'll use some real examples here in a second. But my thing about secrets is they are secrets for a reason. There is a reason why you kept that a secret. Okay. So you want to be wise about what you keep a secret, because if it potentially comes out, you already know that it can destroy the relationship you care about.
Your marriage or your relationship.
Because that's why it's a secret in the first place, because you were scared that it's a secret. But again, when I say scared, we're talking about fear now. So now you're mixing fear with secrets. Those are two destructive human. Well, one is a thing that we do. The other one is emotions. Fear is an emotion, right? That can become a very, very bad mix of concoction that can destroy your relationship. But I would say it requires lots of wisdom on determining what you should share and what you shouldn't share. I'm not just going to go all out and say, no, there shouldn't be a secret. There's no absolute when it comes to relationships. Some secrets that you should probably take to your grave, okay? But they're usually not life and death matters. I say matters. Don't worry about my matters.
What do you think? Assuming a man is being blackmailed by someone, maybe, ex-girlfriend or, some messiness. Do you think that he should go ahead, maybe not even a man, a woman, for example, is being blackmailed because of something she did with someone else, and they're threatening to tell her husband about it? What do you think she should do? Should she go ahead and just let her spouse know that, this is what has happened, though? Or should she pay the blackmailer?
You did such a good job with your face.
Yeah, so.
I just looking at the way that are flowing.
You're looking at the contour and say, I tried.
But anyway, if it's life, if you think it through, if you apply wisdom, and it sounds like it can result in life or death
situation, yeah.
Right? So, for example, women, you're smashing on the outside, and condoms are only 99%, even condoms, right?
That's right.
So there's that little bit of chance that, you can create life out of that, out of that little secret of yours. You should share. You should come out and just live your truth.
Yeah, because
and doesn't mean you have to stay with the person. Just
right.
Just you
so
know.
you should be ready for whatever is gonna happen.
Yeah, it can cause destruction.
My own thing is, if you share with your spouse, I would say share with your spouse, because what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
You have to be ready for the consequences.
You mentioned, so to cut you off, you mentioned blackmail. I was going to say the other side is death. If your secret can potentially cause somebody to die, right? Because even though I told you I used to love rice, but it was really Gary that I loved the most when I was 18 years old. But I never told you secret. That cannot cause life and death, is my point.
Yeah,
But I'm going with the extreme example.
Okay.
There are some that are still kind of like you wonder, it disturbs you. Should you tell? Should you not tell? Again, if not telling cannot potentially cause life and death, you get to decide if you want to keep it a secret and take it to your grave or not.
Right.
It's not destructive. Oh, because you used to go into a special room in your house and you jerk off all the time and you never tell where that room is, can it cause life and death? Some people may argue yes. Some people may argue no. It depends on how you look at it.
You can die of masturbation?
I don't know. I'm just saying, depending.
That's just a habit. I mean, I don't know. I would.
That's why I said, you never know how far people can take.
I wouldn't share that one. Like, that's none of your business. That's my struggle. When I was struggling with masturbation, now I'm not.
I'm saying that if that's how you process that,
if you feel guilty,
if you feel that guilty, that you feel like it can potentially cause life and death,
right?
You should let your significant other know. Okay, what is going on with you. If it can't, that's up to you now. I'm not going to say don't share, because it's completely up to you. That thing may be so little, but it disturbs you, makes you feel guilty. And guilt is a destructive emotion as well, right? So you feeling guilty is not going to help anything.
That's true.
It's not going to help. So it could be very simple stuff. You may come to me and advise me and say, hey, it's not a big deal. Don't tell him. Don't tell her that. But it may be disturbing you. It may be eating you up inside. Okay. If it's eating you up that much, your mental health is much more important than holding on to that secret. So, but ultimately for me, the way I live my life is, if it's potentially can cause life or death, then it can destroy people. Then it can it can be very destructive. So somebody said, what's with the YouTube?
I don't know, Jerry.
I don't know. Upload anyway.
YouTube can just go away. How about that?
So we will start telling people that we just do the live on Instagram. Since they're acting up, we just upload it later for people following on YouTube. Sorry about that. Facebook. All of this platform, they're full of it. So it's all good. All right. So secret jealousy. All right. So let's talk about jealousy. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about jealousy? And marriage and relationships? Because there are people that are not necessarily married and they have to deal with the same emotions, regardless of the certificate or lack thereof. So what do you think? Jealousy. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I hear people talk about healthy jealousy. And I'm like, is there such thing as healthy jealousy?
Open your phone. Help me message them on Malaga. I'll message them. You just talk. So you can talk about jealousy. Is
there something, is jealousy healthy? Jealousy is an emotion. So I don't think being jealous is all the way bad. But if you're jealous to the extent that you can't control yourself, that you lose your mind, that it pushes you to do evil onto others, I think that's when it really, really is destructive.
Okay. All right. So,
because you could have friends. I mean, I've had friends say to me something. Oh, I envy you. You're managing to keep your weight together. Oh, I envy the way the sort of compliment. That's not a bad thing. But now, if you need to take over my life, you want to, then that's a problem. That's how I see jealousy.
Okay, so let's look at jealousy from my standpoint conventional or no layman language. When you tell me somebody is jealous, usually when people come to me and they say, "Oh, it's because it's jealous," it's usually because the person that's saying that is jealous.
Oh, so they put it on the other person.
Yeah. We tend to call that out when we're feeling that. The state of feeling of being jealous. Okay, well, that's jealousy, duh. Let's talk about jealous. To be jealous means what, right? So it's feeling or showing envy of someone or their achievements and advantages. So is envy bad? So in relationships, it's a little bit different. Jealous, if I say you're jealous, it's because you're feeling like
I'm feeling insecure.
you're feeling insecure. Maybe I'm relating with somebody else, and that's making you feel some type
of way.
So it's not necessarily that, right? So is the suspicion. YouTube, just yep.
I don't.
All right, so yeah, so that's jealousy. Now, why do we bring up jealousy? We're going to talk about that in review marriage boot camp. So we do watch a show called Marriage Boot Camp.
Right.
Okay. Did you let them know? Oh yeah. Okay.
Let them know what you said. I should open it and you let them know.
We did Instagram and Facebook, but that's all I can know. By now, you should know where we are. If not, it's okay. All right. Right. So Marriage Boot Camp. All right. So we watched Marriage Boot Camp, which is a show on VH1, and just couples, and they're helping them. It says it's self-explanatory, right? So the exercise on the last episode we watched was about
jealousy.
About jealousy. Okay, that's what it's about. Yep. So that's Marriage Book right there. Yeah, it was about jealousy, and they give them exercise to pull jealousy out of people. So they mixed up the couples,
the spouses.
Yeah.
They did like a wife swap.
Wife swap.
Yeah.
So in real life, how does that happen in real life with us? When sometimes you find yourself in a party, you and your spouse, and you on the other end, you're talking to, it's our friend too. Because the guy's actually our friend, and you're just chatting. Maybe you're even chatting about him, their wife, their kids and stuff. But then, I'm feeling some kind of way, like I'm not feeling, because I feel like, okay, you were gone for way too long. I'm sitting at the table. It was a party.
Why she's so comfortable? It was a party.
Owambe, yes. That's what it was. So, but now we're feeling kind of jealous a little bit. I'm feeling jealous. Right? Why are you not hanging out with me? But I'm not going to say I'm jealous. How do we normally show that as couples in marriage? Can you elaborate on how we normally show that? We don't just come out and say I'm jealous. If you tell me I'm jealous, I'm not going to admit that I'm jealous. In fact, I don't think I'm jealous. Right?
You probably lash out, argue.
Yeah. Arguments.
Yeah, arguments. Like I feel like with us that happened. One time we were at a party and I was saying hello to someone and I introduced the person to you. Well, your face was hard and strong. And I was so embarrassed. I was like,
whose party was that? I think that happened a few times. Which one exactly are you talking about?
Some Owambe party. And the way you said hello to the person, but I didn't think you were friendly enough.
I'm a nice person. Of course.
Yeah.
And
I was like,
but you didn't think I was friendly enough?
Yeah. Like your face was just hard. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Like, this person is just a friend. Why is your face so hard? And
was it a guy?
On. It was a guy, yeah.
Because I would be jealous of a girl too. Even if it's your friend.
Oh yeah. We've been there before.
I would be jealous. So it doesn't have to be suspicious.
But why? But why were you jealous of that person?
That's a good question. Now we're talking.
Reason? Let's talk about that.
That's a good question. Now we're talking.
Yes.
Right? It's not necessarily about it's like this definition here is not complete. This definition of suspicion of unfaithfulness, but that tells you it's complete. Actually, that tells you that unfaithfulness doesn't have to be sexual relationship or a relationship that involves you having an affair. It doesn't have to be that.
Is it like
It could just
spending
be
too much time with someone else?
Yep, it could be just it could be quality time. That you're cheating me out of quality time and spending it with other people, or you're not paying attention to that.
Right.
Men do it, women do it, right?
I know I do it because I'm very hyper, especially, and I'm very passionate when it comes to my friends. So,
but when you say passionate, that's also throwing yourself under the bus. Hyper is better. When you are in a setting, this is my wife. Okay,
I'm excited.
She's social. She's not that social, but when she's out,
when I'm out, I'm social.
Yeah, when she's out, you would think she goes out every weekend.
But I'm also a
people
loner.
used to say like, "Oh,
I
you
like
guys that
space.
go out every weekend." I said, "That's what social media look like. We don't go out every weekend.
Yeah.
But that's what that's what people thought,
Yeah.
But we went out, and when she's out, she's excited. The last thing you want to do is try to dim that light of excitement. It's just best to leave her alone. Let her wear herself out. She will come back. Okay. But of course, when I didn't know any better, I know. Right. So I would basically start catching feelings. And of course, I don't want to upset you, but I'm upset. And it's not necessarily about that person. It's about your laugh is too much. Calm the laugh down, okay?
But I'm like, what's going on?
It sounds horrible. Even
it does sound
me
horrible.
Hearing myself back right now, it sounds completely terrible. But that's what a lot of people do, and they don't realize they're doing it, right? They're like, okay, babe, calm down. It's like they're not saying it in words, but their behavior is.
But then that's coming off as controlling when you do it.
It is not coming off as controlling. It's controlling.
Calm down in that moment.
It is controlling. That's exactly what it is. It's controlling, because the idea of controlling is that you're trying to control another person.
Right.
You want them to act the way you perceive is right, and it's all perception. That's just your perception of what right is. Because other people that she's arguing or
in the moment,
they're not saying it as that. It's only you that you're saying it as that, right?
Yes.
So it takes a tremendous amount of, of wisdom to come to a place where you catch yourself and say, okay, why are you salty? Why are you both hurt? You too, go and say hello to other people, And
that will cause arguments, unnecessary arguments between us.
Yeah, and
I have to explain myself.
No, but it's actually easier if I tell you what is going on.
Right.
It's easier for you to explain yourself, that we get over it, or we just be new to each other, we'll get mad at each other, and at least we know what's going on. The worst part is that people don't say out what is really bothering them. They just act it out. And you're in a place, you're like, what is wrong with him?
I sure was.
Or what is wrong with you, right? Because it went both ways.
Yeah.
I just don't remember my own episodes, but I know it happened.
When? Let me even think.
Don't let me start.
Oh, yeah, it did happen when I saw.
Of course.
And wait, mine happened in the sense that when that happened to me,
right,
we were in a bad place in our marriage.
No, what I'm talking about is like earlier on, first year, second year.
First year, second year?
Somebody.
This person. Okay.
No, don't tell the story.
No, I gotta tell the story.
No, you guys tell the topic. We'll tell the story another day. I promise.
I gotta tell the story someday.
We will tell the story someday,
so you can agree.
But the point I'm making,
the
point I'm making is that you had your episodes too.
Oh, I did, because that was disrespectful.
She wants to tell us why. I said no. Not
I
today.
had to call that out.
Today is not the story. Bratike, Alpha. Today is not that story. Yeah, today is not that story.
Yeah.
But the point is that it happens to the best of us. Jealousy is a real thing.
It's a real thing, yes.
And it doesn't have to be suspicion of relationship or unfaithfulness in relationship. But if you expand the meaning of unfaithfulness in relationship, then that definition is accurate. Because unfaithfulness is you're not faithful. So I don't know if it's accurate again if you think about the fact that that person is not knowingly just wanting to hurt you. They're just social. They just get excited when they're in the middle of people. And once that's why I say tell people, like, you have to get to know people, and that takes years upon years because you're still getting to know people.
It does.
But once you know that, that's just her, and she doesn't even know that she's doing that. I'm not saying she's sleeping with another man. I'm not saying she's kissing another man in the corner. I'm not saying she went to the bathroom with some. But
It's just conversation.
Did you know that people's mind go there?
It's the
to
insecurity.
The worst case scenario.
It's the insecurity.
Yeah. And so jealousy, and if you say put your mind right there and they say, no, my wife, no, I don't ever think like that. No. But why are you acting like the worst case scenario has happened? If your mind did not go to worst case scenario, why are you acting like the worst case scenario has happened? The worst case scenario is that your husband left you at the party and went with another girlfriend. That didn't happen, but you are acting like it.
Yeah, but you feel like
no, not even yet. It may never even happen.
Right.
But you are acting.
That's why I said it's the insecurity.
Yeah. It comes down to insecurity, but we recognize them as jealousy upfront, right? Insecurity. A lot of people will say you're insecure. Say, oh no, I'm not insecure. Like, okay. All right, let's dig deeper.
What it is, yeah.
Let's see if you're insecure. Okay, but insecurity shows up every day for all of us
in different ways,
different retarded ways, right? That you have to, like, if you're a student of this game of relationship and marriage, if you're a student of it, eventually you start recognizing it from afar.
You'll catch yourself, and then
yes, if your wife is insecure, which she would be insecure at times.
At some point.
Or vice versa, your husband is insecure, which he will be insecure at some point. You'll be able to see it and you won't take that as an offense. You just use it as an opportunity to help him or her feel more secured in whatever the situation is, right? So let's dissect it. When you say insecurity to people, right? They're not thinking secured. The word carries its own weight, apart from just somebody feeling secure. Like it sounds like ete. What's ete? Leprosy. It sounds like leprosy when you say insecurity to people because they think the worst mental.
They're in denial about it.
No. They
deny it.
I guess that's denial, right? Right. When you say in denial,
everyone has insecurity of some form. It's just different from people to people.
When you say in denial, I'm thinking they know they have it, but they just don't want to accept it.
Well, when you're quick to defend something,
do they know? Do they know they have it?
So
I just divided that into the two. Do they know that they have it? You know that you have it, but you're just not willing to accept it. That's different from you're not willing to accept that you are.
You don't know at all.
You don't know at all. That's why I push back on that denial. But you're right. It's still being in denial. I just want to make sure I separate those two. So, but insecurity is really as simple. You're not feeling secured in whatever that topic, whatever you're discussing, whatever is bothering you, you're not feeling secure, right? So if you recognize, if you learn it, or how wide insecurity can go, right? Then you can recognize it, and then you take the opportunity to make your significant other feel secured.
Right.
Because that's really all they're asking for. And sometimes it's not just about, you don't have to use the word secure and security, because the moment you use the word insecurity and you recognize it as insecurity, you don't want to go there and say, hey, it's because your security is the bothering you, right?
It's negative, and it's not going to end well.
Yeah.
It's not a title that people like.
I can tell you that that's not the moment for them to admit that. At least they're not going to admit that, you know. And naturally and rightfully so, because it comes off as an attack. So they will be defensive.
They will defend themselves. Yes.
But it creeps into all of our lives on a daily basis, insecurity in different forms. And the way it shows up sometimes is in the form of jealousy. Okay. Not envy, but jealousy in a relationship setting. She's spending all this time with friends. He spends so much time watching games. A wife can be jealous of your damn sport.
I mean, if you spend all your time
or games, or you play Nintendo Switch and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you don't spend any time with your wife.
Right. So maybe that's a stretch, but you get the point. Because to say jealousy or use the word jealousy, now we're talking about another person is involved. You're jealous of that person's mother. they spend too much time on the phone with the mother. Is it by your mother all the time? You know, and you may, for the most part, you're not going to say that out in words. You're going to basically act it out. You will just act.
You will lash out.
You'll be lashing out around the house.
And the person will not even, they won't even understand what they've done wrong.
They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a blind spot.
So how did we get here? Marriage Bootcamp did an exercise of jealousy, and basically what they did is they switched the partners, and there was
they had to dance.
Can you recount what happened?
So they had this exercise. They switched partners, and they taught them how to dance. So you have to grind on that person's partner, and you know, it didn't go well with like 2 of the couples there out of the 4 couples. Ezui was grinding a lot more on I don't know if it was a lot more, but Ezui is extra. So Shonda wasn't comfortable with that.
Well, Shonda felt like Ezui was grinding or too
much on her husband.
Right. She was extra. She said extra.
And she took an offense and she talked about it. And then Ezui's spouse, what was his name again?
Will.
No.
Ezui,
Devon cussed out Shonda for calling the wife extra.
Right. Or talking behind her back.
Right. And everything went downhill from there on.
Crazy. So the idea when they switched partners was to start up something and to see how they handle it. And all of the 5 couples or so, is it 5?
Is it 5 or 4? I think there are 4 couples.
Let me see. I think we can see their face
Tahiri and
it's 5.
It's 5?
Yeah.
So who am I missing?
All right. So yeah.
Oh,
Phaedra.
it's Corrupt and his girlfriend Tony wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah.
But the point here is that in life you'll be thrown into a midst of mix all the time. There will be environmental factors all the time. And while it is natural for you to want to blame your spouse for what's going on, usually we try to blame that spouse, but we say it is your fault that you did this, I did that, but it's really an environmental factor we're trying to blame. Like most people's issues, like you and I would talk about all the time, that our arguments are petty stuff that had nothing to do with us, right? For the most part. And it's like that with most couples, right? They're arguing about things that are outside of them. But then it's still their fault that they didn't catch that. Hey, that's external body causing arguments here, right? But we're in a heated argument about it right now, and we can't pull ourselves out of it because arguments are like, it's like a high. It's like hunger. It's like hunger. It feels like a high that you can't get off. It's hurting you, but you can't really get out of it in that moment in time.
Right.
Either because you don't want to be dismissive or because you want to be right. You want to win the argument.
Yes.
Even though you don't want to admit that you want to win the argument. The words we usually use is, my point is.
Does that make sense?
But that's not the point.
Did
that make sense? If you have to say that 3 times and it hasn't made sense to her, chances are it's not going to make sense. You right?
No, it doesn't. Does that make sense in an argument? It's disrespectful.
That's how you feel.
I still feel the same way.
And I take it.
Like, does that make sense to you? Like, dude, who are you talking to like that? Like, back off. What do you mean? Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. That's why we're here right now. Right.
We're here right now because we're arguing. It's negative energy, It's negative energy. It doesn't help anyone. It feels. I don't want to say it feels good, but there's another word I'm looking for.
You feel like sucked into
You're
it.
sucked into it. You can't get out.
Out.
I'm saying good because I'm trying to think like, why are you staying in it if it doesn't feel good? So it must feel good. So but it's not black and white. I'm saying you're sucked into the conversation that's very toxic in nature.
Very toxic.
And you're finding yourself wanting to win, but you don't want to win.
Feel good after winning.
So even if you win, you're still not going to feel good.
Right.
So there's no good ending. There's no happy ending, for lack of a better word, to arguments.
No. Because
I win the argument, I'm still looking at you as my best friend, and that didn't feel right.
Instead of having arguments, we have to make it an habit to have discussions, have conversation. Like, it's okay not to agree.
and I want to come back to that. Let's stay on this marriage boot camp jealousy situation. So they were thrown into the middle of something. It seems like every day they were excited about dancing. They're like, you want to dance with that person? And yeah, some people say, oh, he cool. They're doing all that. But they didn't realize that emotions are going to be pulled out of that situation. And you will need someone to come and connect the two together. Like, listen, you are going to be in the middle of life all the time, a.k.a. marriage.
I feel like I have to defend Shonda a little bit because Shonda and Ezui don't like each other. Okay, like we have to stress that.
This is, by the way, guys, this is what makes this I think interesting, because she's going to tell us how she feels, even though we're not talking about our feelings. But go ahead, baby.
Whatever.
Let's tell us how you feel about Ezui.
Ezui and Shonda don't like each other. They've had Twitter wars in the past. Okay, so these are two people that don't care for each other. Now, to make it worse, the boot camp, they purposely, in my opinion, switch Ezui and Shonda's husband. Like, no, okay, yeah. So Ezui is dancing with Shonda's husband, but Shonda is dancing with a completely different person. Right. Do you think that if Shonda was dancing with Ezui's husband, do you think Ezui wouldn't have reacted the way Shonda reacted?
If Shonda was dancing with Ezui's husband, would Ezui have reacted? Do you think?
I think she would have reacted, because guess what? Ezui is the same one that called a grown woman out for wearing whatever she was wearing in front of her husband. And then she was busy showing side boobs. Exactly. So I feel like that was just gonna happen when someone doesn't like me, for example. If I don't like your ass, okay, I don't like you already.
Do you ever not like someone?
No, I never not just like someone. They have to show themselves.
There's always
when you show yourself, you show your stupidity, and I don't care for you. And now you are now frolicking around my husband. I'm gonna have a problem with that. In fact, I'm gonna tell you why you frolicking with that person. You know I'm not cool with that person. I feel disrespected in a moment. Right. So rightfully so, I think Shonda's reaction in that moment is justified.
Okay.
Ezui doesn't like Shonda either, so she kept grinding on this guy to piss Shonda off.
So let's talk about justified. Let's talk about justified and if justified. So on this show, we talk about relationships and marriage,
right?
And I always say something. It's not about right and wrong, right? When you use the word justified,
I'm just saying that.
No, you're not wrong, baby. I just want to pull. I want to. You're not wrong.
I understand our feelings. That's what I'm saying.
Right. You're not wrong. Actually, that's the point of what I'm saying.
That's okay.
Right. But let's bring it back to everyone else and an average couple, right? They get into this battle where, no, you're wrong, I'm right. They don't say it exactly like that, but that's basically what they're trying to say. That's why you get into an argument. Right. You're wrong, no, I'm right. I'm right, you're wrong, right? That's why people get into that. So, Shonda, let's talk about Shonda. You said she's justified, okay? No, I'm not disagreeing with you, babe.
I mean,
I'm not. Wait, stop trying to predict me now.
I'm not even going to backtrack on that. Yeah, she's justified in my books.
Okay, stop trying to predict me. Okay. Okay, let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
Let me finish. Stop saying that to your wife, by the way.
Okay.
Right, so it's not necessarily that she's not justified.
Right.
It's that it actually proved the whole point of the exercise.
It did.
All right. So they strategically positioned your husband with this girl because they knew that you had issues. Well, in real life too, you will have issues with people that you may not even understand why. Like you said, there's always a reason. Sometimes you're upset with somebody and you have to think about it to know, why was I upset with her again? How many times have you had argument with people and said, why are we upset again? That happens all the time in relationships, right? Because there's a lot of things that transcends throughout the process of the argument. You talk about so many topics in the argument that you forgot how you started the argument in the first place.
I don't even argue outside. It's only you that bring an argument out of me.
I've been saying that for life.
And because you're the one that is close to me.
I've been saying that for life. Let's see if we can... I don't know how this is gonna work out, but let's see.
Oh, Brad TK is coming on, huh?
Sorry.
You put it like
Let's
there.
see. Let's get a submission. All right. So, but yeah, that's you're gonna be positioned into positions in life that will uncomfortable positions that will make you feel like you should fight back. Like you should call, like, even after everything happened, because now there was a big physical fight that happened, right? And that physical fight resulted in, you remember that point where Tahiri was starting to get irritated and heated up as well too. Now she hasn't realized that that's all still part of the exercise.
It is.
Because she just got positioned into a situation that happens in real life sometimes. Is it every time you find yourself in hot water that you will start boiling? Because you actually have control if you should boil or not in that form of hot water, right? You can control that. You can say, I'm going to choose to walk away now. Right?
I always believe in walking away, except if it's really, really, except if you don't have a choice.
Right.
Walking away, because I believe that, like, for example, if your husband or your wife is the one in entanglement, okay?
Jesus,
okay?
Entanglement.
I don't believe that.
What kind of entanglement? You talking about the same entanglement that's popular right now? What are you talking about?
If assuming you're in an entanglement.
Oh, like the entanglement, Jada's entanglement?
I'm talking about,
Jada's entanglement, yes, right? Okay.
I find out you're entangled.
Okay.
I'm not to me, I feel like going to that other person and talking to them, that's belittling myself. I just
right, but that's your personality.
That's my pride in there. Like, you're not gonna have me act a fool. So it's gonna be me and you that we're going to drag it out. Me and you are going to be the one in the boxing ring, right? Because it's you that I have a business with. That's my personality. You know me.
Is it more? Let me ask you a question.
I always walk away, but he gets the hit. I'm not gonna.
This is very important.
Get involved with some score outside.
Like walking away can be either strength or personality. For you, is it more of strength or personality?
I think it's more of my personality. It's my personality. I'm not confrontational. I will not let you reduce me to a fool. I'm not coming to your level. We're not fighting. Because guess what? You're just not up to my level. That's how I see myself.
Right.
So if I let you see that I'm pissed off, now you're winning. So I talk in my pride. Yeah. I talk in whatever ego is there, and I'll go handle it with my spouse at home.
Yeah. So that's why this person said, "Bro, what's the problem? We try to pull you on, but for some reason it's not coming on."
It's not coming on. No.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on.
Let's try that one more time. Yeah.
Today is not. Today is not. It's not happening.
All right. So So definitely they were thrown. So even Tahiri was thrown into the middle of that. So now the boyfriend of Izui wanted to defend. So I have a question for you with regards to that. Devon and Will fight. So they got into a fight. Right. So tell us.
Devon is Ezuhi's husband. He felt the need to defend his wife. Okay, because Shonda was talking about Ezuhi, right? Saying that Ezuhi is so extra. And then Devon got upset and started talking back to Shonda. Right. And then Will, who is Shonda's husband, said, "Stop backing up my wife."
So Will, who is Shonda's husband, and Will, who is Shonda's husband, and Ezuhi's dance partner. Remember that makes the
right. That's what
decided to defend his wife. Right. So should Devon have? My English is going to be screwed up.
Is it Devon or Davion?
Devon. Should he have been defending Ezuhi? They both did the same thing. That guy was also defending his wife, except that Devon was defending his girl when she wasn't present. But Will was defending his girl in her presence. Basically, don't talk to my wife like that.
Yeah.
Should men defend their girl or their wife like that?
Now,
in that type of scenario,
the way Devion did it was wrong.
Right.
You don't go and be backing at a woman.
Right.
And say you are defending your wife. Are you a woman rapper? No, your wife is. I wouldn't appreciate it if you're fighting some girl over me. Let me handle my own situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. Now, in the case of Will defending his wife, rightfully so. There's another guy, a male, backing at his wife. That is wrong. That is wrong. You can't be backing at a woman. So I think it's justified that Will tried to defended his wife.
Right.
But the fact that he got into a fight, I don't know. That one is a big.
Good evening, Baba.
Good evening.
I think I have audio problems.
Hey, yeah.
We can hear you now.
What's going on? We can hear you loud and clear.
I can't seem to hear you.
Oh, how did you know that we were trying to hear you?
No, I guess it's thinking ahead.
Can you hear us now?
Immediately I joined, I couldn't hear again.
Oh wow.
Oh, but you can hear us now, right?
Let me go back and make my request.
Okay, let's do that again.
Okay.
All right.
I don't seem to hear you.
Okay. Yeah, that's the
Okay, you
issue.
can try again.
All right. So let's. So if you want right now, you can chime in. Hello, Prince Ayola. Hello, everyone.
Hi guys.
Thank you for coming by. All right. So we're talking about jealousy. Okay. So you're saying, let's talk about Devon first. Devon should not have been defending.
No, Devon. He shouldn't have come at Shonda that way.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways that even if you want to defend your wife, you're not gonna be.
Welcome, Baba. Can you hear us now?
Good evening.
I guess it's my Bluetooth device.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You can hear us now,
It's
right?
my Bluetooth device doesn't want me to talk this evening.
Abby.
But but what I would do is let me get off the Bluetooth device
and try again.
then rejoin again.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
All right.
No problem.
Let's see. Let me see the other people that are here. There's no other requests. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's keep talking here, guys. Which state are you guys at? That's an interesting question. Why do you want to know? I'm just kidding. Let's just say we're in the New York metropolitan. All right. All right. So you're saying Devon, the way he attacked another girl.
His approach.
He attacked another girl. Okay, but that's what happens. So there's no absolute in philosophies in life. Some people will say you should always defend your wife.
Yes.
That's an absolute statement. It's not always true.
It's not always.
You should defend. How you defend can vary.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay? How you defend can vary from situation to situation.
Don't go and beat up a girl because you're defending your wife.
Good example. So because you're defending your wife, you now went with your gang and then you beat up another girl.
That's a punk.
You're gonna go to jail. They're not gonna be like you're defending your girl. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you guys now. How are you doing?
We're good.
I'm so happy to be here.
All right. So before you continue, let me just read Prince Ayola here. Prince Ayola says there should be a little jealousy in a relationship because this part of loving your partner. All right. So what we're talking about, bros, right, is that sometimes a woman gets into a fight with another woman, right? One of them is your wife. One of them is your girlfriend, right? Should you jump in and defend your wife? That's the first case scenario. What is your take on that?
Well, it's not as simple as it seems. As far as I am concerned, the thing there is you have the guts to have a girlfriend. So that means you have the guts to defend both women. There's a fight. When I was much younger, before I got married in my university days, I had the philosophy that any woman I can't marry, then I can't go out with you. So it made my life easier because it meant that any babe that I had is wife material. if you are not, for whatever physical attributes you have that are damning and lovely and eye-catching, if you are not a wife material, I won't go for you.
Right.
So it made choosing a girlfriend or having a babe easier for me. And I think it worked because eventually that was what led to one of them getting married to me or me getting married to one of them. Now, the issue at hand is that you have transcended, whichever way it applies, to have a girlfriend. And your girlfriend and your wife are now fighting.
No, not girlfriend and wife. They don't both belong to you. One of them is either your girlfriend or your wife. The other person is completely a different person.
Okay, one of them is either your girlfriend
or your wife. Is your woman, your girl. That one of them is your girl. Yes. The other one is not your girl. They are fighting. Should you defend your own person, or should you get into the fight and be defending your girlfriend or your wife, whichever one? Let's say wife, since this is a marriage show. Should you jump into it and defend your wife?
I think the sanest thing to do really is you getting there and making peace, whichever way it goes.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Forget at that point, who is right, who is wrong is not what matters. What matters is you guys just chill. Naturally, the other party, the other lady will look at you and feel that you are trying to defend your woman.
Yes.
By even saying that you guys should just chill. That look, I'm the one that is offended here. Yeah, they are telling us to chill. How can I chill when she abused me? When she pointed at, the different scenarios. But the fact of the but the good part of it is you just get there and tell them to chill. It naturally will not go down well with the other party.
All right.
But
so
if you're,
I'm taking that in. See, you're running out of time. Let me give you this second scenario. In this particular case we're talking about, this guy is called Devon. His girlfriend is E, and basically the girlfriend was not even there to defend herself, but this other girl was talking about her. So the boyfriend was now defending, like, don't talk about her when she's not here. Do you think he should be doing that, or there's another way to go about it? Because they're not even in a physical fight now. She's not even present.
It should. I mean, it's like, what if it's the other way around? She's somewhere and somebody's running you down. You should defend, except you believe that person, even if.
Oh shit.
All right. Sorry. Instagram had a drama today. It's okay.
God. Oh,
yeah.
geez.
Before the time ran out. They actually ended it before the time ran out.
Yes.
But yeah, hopefully we'll come and catch us on
Facebook.
Let me share the link if you want to jump in and argue with us.
There's a movie on Netflix by is it by Nia Long, or she just happened to be in the movie? Well, Nia Long is in it.
She's starring Nia Long and Omar Epps.
Omar Epps is in it.
Yeah.
I don't know the light-skinned dude's name. Sorry. She's married, and she's a lawyer, right? She's an attorney.
Yes.
She's an attorney.
Yes.
She ran into a friend from the past 20 years ago.
Yep.
Came to our firm, and they started talking. They went out, right, to celebrate. He's a hacker. Is that his job?
It's a profession. That's what he said.
He's a professional hacker. Okay. So they went out to coffee, and they started talking about their own relationship. He said he's divorced. She said she's married.
Right.
And he asked if there's trouble in paradise. And she insinuated that sometimes she feels like the person she's been married to for the past 20 years.
You can see what she wants.
For the past 20 years is a stranger.
Right. So they were together in college.
They went to school together.
Right.
But he liked her back in school, but I guess he didn't muster the courage to ask her out.
Right.
You know, one of those,
Mm-hmm.
the creepy ones.
That's one of the questions I have for you.
So they ended up going out to have coffee. From there, they went to the club, and before you know it, they were kissing, doing all sorts of, you know, they were about to smash, and she stopped it, and she said she's not interested. But the guy kept pushing on.
They were about to smash in the bathroom in the club.
Yeah, here to fill that in.
Yeah.
You know, I can't believe
and she's married to a person at home.
I said that part. She's married.
And this person just went through a surgery.
Oh, that's true. It was going through some kind of
related surgery.
Yes.
Okay.
So she didn't want to have sex. I mean, maybe she wanted to have sex, but in that moment she got herself back and said, no, this has to stop. I can't do this.
Right.
But the guy became obsessed with the whole idea, started showing up in different places.
Right.
Ended up showing up in her house with her best friend. The whole thing became a whole mess.
Right.
That he befriended the husband and tried to kill her husband and her child.
Right.
And at the end of the day, she killed him. And you know.
All right.
It's Fatal Affair. It's it's a good one. It's a good one to watch because it will warn you what not to do and be careful out there.
So what's the lesson in this movie? What lesson did you pull out for married couples in this movie? What's like the number one lesson that you pulled out of it? What's up, Tommy Lola? What's up, Ademola? Adio? What's up, Gladim? Yeah, so what was like the number one lesson you pulled out from this movie?
It's kind of still tricky for me because I feel like she didn't go seeking the dude. But
that's how you feel?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Well, people don't go seeking each other.
Sometimes people do. He actually planned the whole thing. She was caught unawares.
Really?
Yeah, he said he's a professional hacker. He purposely got a job with our company so he could see her. He was obsessed with her. So what do you do in that situation where you just, being yourself and doing things normally and you think you're hanging out with a friend and you don't know that this friend is a psycho? What do you do? That is obsessed with you.
Well, I asked you a couple of questions. When they ended up on a dinner date, a friend was supposed to be there.
Yeah,
right?
I don't want to say that because you are married, you can't go eat lunch with a colleague or a friend.
Huh?
Because you're married.
I asked you a question.
Yes, what's the question?
Let me repeat that question. See, you see my just now.
I'm just saying.
I asked you.
I don't see anything
when we
wrong
were
with
watching
that.
it, I asked you a question. I said, if you're on a dinner date with a friend,
Yes.
a guy friend,
yes,
a friend of the opposite sex,
yes,
I said, if the husband walked in right now, would she catch some kind of anxiety and want to explain herself? Would she want that to happen in that moment in time?
No, she wouldn't. Because
no. What was your first answer before we saw the rest of the movie?
What was my first answer?
You said she was just introduced, right? That's
if she doesn't have anything hidden in her cupboard, she would introduce. What's
I said
the big
even
deal?
if she didn't have anything, the fact is that the husband did not know
that she was
that
hanging
another
out
dude was going to be
with a
hanging out with them in a
dude.
club
Okay, so you're
late
right
evening.
So you're right about that in that aspect.
Right.
The fact that she didn't let her husband know that, dude, I'm going to be hanging out with a friend from the past.
Yeah.
That shows that she's hiding something in that moment.
And I didn't want to be right. I'm just saying, would she want to would she be scared all of a sudden?
She would catch anxiety.
But even if it's a man, you could be scared.
You will catch anxiety.
If you're hanging out with a girl, it's not even your girlfriend. You actually have no ulterior motive.
But you didn't tell your wife.
But you don't necessarily want your wife to walk in on you guys right now.
So it's one of those secrets that you don't feel the need to share. You're like, okay, I'm just hanging out with a friend. We're just eating lunch. What's the big deal?
Secrets. We're talking about secrets. So it's not about right and wrong. It's about excuse my motion English right now.
You're not from Mushin, you're from Akure. Stop messing with Mushin people. What's wrong with you?
Would that make
Mushin people don't speak like that.
you feel scared? Would that make you catch anxiety would you want to be looking over your shoulder? Would you want to be having this dinner right now? If your wife knew about it, if your husband knew about it, if the answer is no,
You shouldn't be, right?
That's one of those secrets that you probably should not be engaging in. And I hate to judge women. Problem is that women judge women more than anybody else.
It doesn't mean that you're allowed to judge women.
I'm actually saying that because I'm not going to judge women.
Right.
I'm not going to judge women. That's why I said even a man could be like, oh yeah, meat, and it's still acceptable, more acceptable.
Yes.
To just say meat. But a woman will actually be much more scared to be in that situation. So at that moment in time where they were on that dinner, and she's not really feeling like herself, she shouldn't have been there in the first place. But you guys, we don't want to spoil the movie too much. I just have a couple of questions for you.
We already did. I said the whole thing.
No, they still need to watch it.
I mean, I did. I just summarized it. It's not. It's a good movie. You should check it out.
Yeah, you should still watch it. Let me just show you a couple of things, okay? That I feel like we could learn from the questions that I had for you, particularly. Okay, so which is worse? So this was a friend that always liked her, but never really got the chance, right?
But she didn't know. Did she?
She didn't know.
Okay.
But he never really got the chance. He never really told her. She didn't know. But she said, maybe I was waiting. And there are a lot of situations like that.
Speak up.
Yeah, there's a lot of situations like that you speak to the person years later and they say, I thought you liked me. I thought you were always going to ask me.
But you never did.
And you never did, right? So that kind of friend or an actual ex-boyfriend that you were with, which one is worse to play around with like that, to have a secret relationship with? Now, she continued to argue that this is nothing. We don't have nothing. But the problem is that they did have something. Because if it was nothing, she should be able to tell the husband.
I agree.
Okay? That's why emotional affairs are actually worse than physical. They're actually worse.
There's something that's making you feel like it's wrong anyway. I'm not going to tell my spouse.
Yes. It hurts just as much, if not more. Because you will never know. It hurts you too, because if you always wanted to smash that person and it was all emotional, you would you never smash, but then you have to answer to that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That, hey, you messed with this person. If there was text messages and things like that, right? So it was basically an emotional affair, almost turned physical, that turned out to be a fatal situation, right? So which one is worse? Is there ex or just a friend? It was just a friend. Since it was just a friend, we could just go hang out. It shouldn't be an issue. Go hang out late night. I'm just hanging out with other friends anyway. My friend just happened to not show up, right?
So hanging out with a friend that likes you, or your ex.
But he just liked you. It was never an ex. Which one is worse?
Either one, I think, is this. Like one is not better than the other. They are both as dangerous.
They're both as dangerous.
Yes.
So when you say dangerous, how dangerous could it possibly be? It's just a friend. We're just eating.
He likes you. He's obsessed with you. He likes the idea of being with you.
Some people will say that's just movies.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's gonna come and try to kill you and your family. Fatal attraction.
Okay, when they start feeling entitled.
This one is fatal affair.
When they start feeling entitled, like they own you.
How do you define an affair?
Something that happens within while you're married to someone, that's an affair. Having entanglement, I guess. No, it's not entanglement actually.
Entanglement.
Because Will and Jada were separated, but people still say it's still a marriage.
No, it was an entanglement, and she was right by using the word entanglement. It means a relationship that's complicated, that has messiness in it.
Right.
It's messy by nature.
Right.
It doesn't make it not a relationship. It's not about right and wrong.
Right.
It's about that this can potentially cause issues, right? So I think what we need to do is so Jummy girl. Hi, Jummy girl. Why do I feel like that's Nika? I agree with you, Lola. It's dangerous. So I agree it's dangerous. Can we go in depth a little bit on how dangerous is it? Like, what can actually happen when you say it's dangerous to have an affair that's not really an affair.
There are feelings involved, and you don't know.
It's an affair, but it's not really an affair because I have no ulterior motives.
That's what people say.
I don't have any plans.
That's what people say until they get so invested in you, and they now feel like, oh my God, I can't let this person go. And the worst ones are the ones that think that they love you than your actual spouse.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any plans to sleep with her. I'm not thinking about sleeping with her. She's just a friend. We're just on a dinner date
that you wish would be yours. If you
no, I don't wish. No, I'm not thinking about that at all.
But
so that's why I said.
So this in this movie's case is different. Mm-hmm. He really liked her. He wanted to date her. He just didn't have the chance. Like he didn't see an opening to ask her out.
Right, that's him.
Yeah.
You, the girl. So I switched it. Sorry. So the girl, you're just out with a friend, right? So are you saying people should not go out with just somebody you think is just a friend? Are you saying don't do it?
Let me tell you something. If you know that person likes you, you know that person wants to be with you. Let's not lie to ourselves. There's feelings involved. When there are feelings involved, you have to be careful. You have to tread lightly. If you say you can control this shit, what if that person is not strong enough to control it? It's still going to end up to...
Yeah, but I'm controlling myself. I don't care if he can control himself or not.
And then he can become obsessed, and then before you know it, it will start threatening you. It will put you in a messy situation. It's just, if you can avoid it, avoid it. It's hard sometimes, but if you can...
Hi, Bussy Love.
Hi, Bussy Love.
I think... and hi, Hike Boyo. I think, I agree with you 100%. But I like to dig in deeper to emotions that makes people like her. For example, this lady, Fatal Affair, go watch it. We're not going to spoil that, I promise. Okay. She was in a place where she was questioning. The exact words that she used was like, she feels like she wake up 20 years later into a marriage and she feels like the spouse
is a stranger.
Like she's with a stranger. She feels like she was with a stranger.
What does that tell you? There's complacency in that situation right
on the part of who?
Well, it could be both parts.
You meant complacency, baby?
Yeah,
complacency. This is real life. This is real life. Go ahead.
Anyway, sometimes men don't pay attention to their wives, and most times it's not that they are doing it on purpose.
So you're trying to say all the time women pay attention to their husband?
I'm just saying sometimes.
I'm asking for someone new.
Do I pay? No. I'm not perfect. Let me use me.
I didn't talk about you.
No, I'm going to use me because I'm not going to generalize. I can only use me. It's not every time I pay attention.
Okay.
But can I say that I pay attention most times? Yes, I do.
Okay. To your man?
Yes.
Okay. Except if we're at a party.
Baby,
and I'm feeling jealous that you left me at the table by myself.
I barely leave you at the table by yourself. That was an inside joke.
If you missed the beginning of the chat, sorry.
I barely leave you by yourself. Come on,
you don't leave me. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. So, but sometimes men, I feel like when men, like when people get married, men naturally just go about their business.
Oh yeah.
Married now. Let's just,
You are here now. We die here.
You ain't going nowhere. They don't fit into their wife's emotional needs.
Right.
They don't truly understand women. When women talk about emotional needs, men are like, huh? What do you mean? I feed you. I take care of my kids.
Yeah, what do you mean by emotional needs?
What do you mean? An emotional need. And men, when men can connect to their wives emotionally, trust me, you can be having the best sex ever, and you will still not feel the same for the woman.
Yeah.
Because emotionally, you're not there.
But
for men, it's like, okay, why are you not feeling? I'm putting in my best work. Yeah, I'm doing everything. What's wrong with this woman? This woman is just, no, she's emotionally checked out.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going on over there.
Okay, so she husband was recovering from a surgery, some type of situation, and she was
surgery.
feeling disconnected. She felt like she's with a stranger.
Right.
She went out on a quick afternoon coffee date with
to
a
celebrate
potential colleague to celebrate some kind of breakthrough from work.
Yes.
And then she ended up saying, well, sometimes you just wake up and she said it to the dude.
He asked.
He asked,
like, is there trouble
in paradise?
He insinuated, and in that moment, she was just feeling free.
All right, so I don't want to talk about the movies too much. Let's just talk about this is where we came up with secrets.
Right.
This is why we're talking about secrets.
Right.
The other one was about jealousy. This one's about secrets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the dude started acting out, that's the external affair guy, started to really act like a maniac. He said, we could do this. He said, there is no this. She said, there is no this. But she did not tell her husband.
No, she didn't tell her husband.
Until it was too late. Almost too late. Well, it was too late because somebody
life
died.
And death situation.
Right. Until it was life and death. And it was always life and death situation when you don't know. People are crazy out there.
I'm telling you. People forget that they wear a suit.
Are crazy. It don't matter. And there could be a professional. Oh yeah, he's a fine boy. No, why would you want to do that? You'd be shocked. Okay. No, these are the kind of people that visit therapists every other day because they have anger issues. They are divorced. The problem is not that they're divorced. The problem is that the problem is that they are divorced. This particular guy was divorced because of anger issues, and he actually killed his ex-wife. But she did not know that. It looks like a normal person.
Yes.
And it's the excitement when you meet a new person that you don't know comes from the fact that you don't know them. The excitement when you met your significant other in the beginning, the excitement that you seem like you lost suddenly right now because you're going through, because you're disconnected, that excitement came from the fact that you didn't know that person.
Yeah.
That's where the word complacency comes in, right? Complacency comes when see finish.
Yes.
Right? When you know everything you can know about that person. That person is predictable.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? You know how they move, you know when they go to work.
There's no spontaneous.
When they sleep at night, they sleep that way. You kind of know the sound of their snore, you know the music they sing with their snore, and at that point in time, you now feel disconnected. You feel disconnected because you're not in control of your own personal emotions. And you're normal, like everybody else.
Of course.
All right.
Of course.
But what you need to do, if you value life, if you value relationships, if you value your home, maintaining a home for your kids, right? What you need to do is get into a place where you realize that it's time to learn something beyond just the natural that happens because you're meeting something new. New is exciting, right? Some people used to say the best what's the clean word to use? I don't want to be anyway. The best pussy is a new pussy, right? I was struggling. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, Jesus is
right?
Lord.
Right.
Okay, I hear you.
But that's only valid if the value you're getting from her is only pussy. You're absolutely right. But when you're married to a person, right? That's not the only value you're getting from that. That's now your best friend. That's the person you said you committed to wanting to spend your life with them. You didn't say you wanted to spend your life with them because they have a good pussy.
Okay.
No, it was a little bit more than that. Hopefully.
That pussy will shut you.
Right.
It will look like old. That new pussy will become old too.
Hopefully it was the other value, right? Yes. How many times do you know people that their wife or their husband is not in the best shape, but they love him to death?
Yes.
And her to death, exactly like that.
Yes.
They can't, like, you're comparing two wrong things together, because they've gone through, they're together, they plan to spend their life together. This person's now like they're part of who they are. Right. So that's the problem that happens. So there are two sides to it. Okay, we're talking about a fatal. It doesn't have to be fatal affair. For most of us, it's not going to be a fatal affair, but it's actually fatal from an emotional standpoint.
Yes.
From the standpoint that it can destroy your home and you're going to end up on a court steps.
Right.
Fighting for custody.
Right.
Just because you can't control yourself or you feel disconnected for a second and you do something that's going to cost you a lifetime of pain.
I mean,
Gonna
I don't
cost your
want to
kids.
say disconnected for a moment. What if a woman is married to a jackass man that doesn't want to do better, that doesn't want to be better, and they feel stuck? You know?
You know, the truth is that things do happen in life. Okay. And when I say a moment, I'm saying that with respect to a lifetime.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
It's a temporary, your feelings are temporary by nature. That's just what they are. They're temporary. It is a temporary, how you feel right now or for the next 2 years, because you guys are going through 9 to 10 years of everyone trying to give up on the marriage, right? How you feel right now is still temporary in the grand scheme of things, right? The question I would ask you with that question you asked is, was that person a jackass in the beginning?
No, they were sweet.
They're usually not a jackass.
That's why you
right?
ended up with them. You didn't see that part of them.
But let's not be anything here. You know, some people are jackasses and you should run from jackasses, right?
Oh, some people are attracted to jackasses.
Some people are attracted to jackasses too, right? So I'm not saying there's no people like that. I'm saying for the most part, is a jackass right now because it's being complacent, right? It's a jackass right now because
of his own struggles.
He's struggling. He doesn't realize that you're actually feeling the way you're feeling right now. He's in
Wait,
dark.
what if you?
He's in the dark.
What if you told him and he still can't comprehend it?
Speaking from experience, he's still in the dark. If you tell me, I've never been married before. It's first time a woman who is my wife, with my mother and my 2 kids, is telling me that I'm feeling some type of way. So you think I am equipped to understand that right off the bat? I'm probably just gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, and then you still feel like unheard. You still feel unheard. Like it's real. So I'm not like, that's why I always say it's not right and wrong. Is it wrong? Okay, good, it's wrong. But that has nothing to do with what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do.
It's not about right and wrong, it's about how do we move forward. Like some people are stuck in a limbo. Like I'm telling you, this is how I feel. What we can do to get out of it, and you still don't want it. I mean, it's a common thing. Like you hear women ask their husbands, let's go to therapy, let's go to counseling, and these dudes are like, no, I don't do therapy. I'm an African man. Like, yo, at what point are you gonna make a change? We gotta get out of where we are right now. It's not a safe place for both of us.
It's like, how do you move forward?
How do you move forward
in a healthy relationship, though?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to move forward, but in a healthy relationship.
Right.
Okay. So we're talking complacency. She found herself. That movie, go watch it. It's a cool movie. But the end of it, where they're fatal and they're stabbing each other, hopefully nobody ends up there. But you've seen the news. It does happen in real life.
It does happen in people's lives, yes.
But for most people, they're not going to experience that. They're going to experience worse, which is emotional turmoils, emotional heartache, a lifetime of emotional pain in a marriage that you don't really enjoy. That's going to be most people, you know, and it's not better than a fatal situation, right? All right. So how do you move? So for her, she was experiencing a temporary setback. It's completely emotional. Recognize that what you're feeling is a feeling. It's temporary. It's emotions. Okay. And part of that formula that's going to help you get out of it is part of that formula is going to be time, patience, essentially, right? Then you're going to need self-development, right? Personal development. You need to work on yourself. And if the person is being outright a jackass, working yourself will help you learn how to deal with the person who does not value you, a person who does not have respect for you. There's a part that you're playing to make them feel like they
can be that way, and you will always be there to receive it.
Yes.
Okay. I hear you.
Now it takes two to tango. Okay. This is the point where it takes two to tango. You should ask yourself, what am I contributing into? Even when we were chatting with Ubi yesterday, he said he always asks himself.
And that's a good point.
How did he say it?
What part am I playing?
What part am I playing?
Oh, you know, it's a good point because, you know, sometimes we complain about the other person, then we forget that we're part of the equation. Us making that person feel this way. Why is this
feel like they
happening?
Can treat me this way.
Exactly. So we do play a part in it.
Yes. So if I'm arguing with her and I go, she argues too much.
But you're also engaging her.
What do you mean? but you're engaging the argument. What makes you want to engage argument with her? She just doesn't make sense sometimes. Tell me more. What exactly were you guys talking about? So, because they need to feel heard. Honestly, they need to feel heard a little bit before I can help them out. That's why I'm saying that. By the time you tell me that you also engage in arguments, that what I want to fix is that 50% part of yours that you're donating
Right.
into that
At least if
engagement.
you fix your part, maybe there'll be a shift.
Yes.
Because someone cannot argue by themselves.
No, they can't.
At some point,
most normal people can't.
They will catch themselves and say, I think I'm losing it. Why am I talking to myself?
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yep.
So yeah, I get that part.
So if you're now saying I'm going to switch partners to another person to fix that issue, you got a problem because it's still you, the 50% at least.
You will carry that 50%
to the other person.
That other, and then it's going to start all over again in a different form. Sometimes.
And keep in mind that your excitement about the other person is coming from the fact that you don't know them. She caught herself early enough. It was only one encounter, but it was still bad enough.
Yes.
That's because relationships and marriage cannot be measured like human measurements, units. You can't measure it in the form of seconds and times. Oh yeah, she cheated for 10 years. So I can go at least for 5 years, I'll be okay. You may not be okay after 1 minute. Your own may be 30 seconds of a compromising position,
right?
And it can destroy your life.
It's true.
So you can't measure it that way. So the real question that a person that finds themselves questioning their marriage, I feel like I feel like I'm with a stranger after 20 years. The real question is that you chose that person, and you're in a bad place, such a bad place right now, that you're not questioning yourself. That says a lot about you. Unless that person is physically, verbally abusive and we can see it. And yes, emotional abuse too, right? But even in that case, we just said you helped make that happen. And that's the first thing we want to deal with. And the other choice you have is to run away from your problems, like most people do.
Do you feel like she kind of when she and the guy, they went to the club and they were about to smash, and she cut herself and she went home. Everything shifted with her and her husband.
Right. So she needed to. What happened there was that sometimes when you get into a place where you felt it, like you almost lost everything I cared about, that edge right there is sometimes where you need to get to appreciate what you have. And it's not right or wrong.
I agree.
And it's just what it is.
I agree.
We play irregularly like that. All of us do to a certain extent, right? We do what we're not supposed to be doing. We compromise on our values and morals because we're suffering inside too.
Yeah, it's weakness.
When
you're weak.
That's why I don't like the right and wrong thing.
Right.
Because you throw all that moral compass, you throw that away when you're weak emotionally. You throw that out the window. And it's not because you deliberately do that. You're just too weak. And you start devaluing everything you ever cared about. Obviously, it makes sense to protect what you care about, but it suddenly doesn't make sense anymore. So now you think some moral values is going to make sense? No. Especially when we're talking about feel good. Jada said, I had not felt good for so long.
I mean, that's real.
Right?
That's real. And I had, there's a program that I like watching, and one of the ladies there said, for some of us that have morals, we think about our children, we think about this, and we would never do what Jada did. And I looked at her like, oh, you haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
You've not been pushed to the wall. You've not felt disconnected. You still have some zeal going for you.
Right.
And tap into that, because when you get to that point, morals won't come into your head. I'm sorry.
It's the last thing you're thinking
It's not
about.
a matter of right and wrong.
What you're thinking about when you're emotionally weak or emotionally suffering is survival. That's the only thing that comes to mind. And I'm talking about survival emotionally.
Yeah.
You have people in situations where they don't know, they have panic attacks, they have anxieties, they have attacks.
It's real.
And they're not sure how long they can maintain. right?
Yes.
They feel like they're in a jail, in a prison yard. They feel like they're in confinement.
Like lost.
Yeah, they feel like they're in a hole, like a confinement. And it's worse than when that happens physically. Okay? It's like, imagine some kind of, God forbid, right? A voice talking to you in your head and just yelling and yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if I hear,
you want to talk about morals when that happened, I mean,
that narrowed tiny sound that you hear sometimes. They're like, what the hell is that? And you do like this, and then it just.
You hear moral? I don't hear anything. I beg.
I'm sure somebody can relate. It's happened at least twice in my lifetime.
Wow.
Where you hear like a very tiny siren type of sound.
Oh, like piercing.
It's like maybe something was beeping upstairs, maybe one of the smoke detectors or something like that. And it penetrates the brain enough for you to be, so what's that? And it's like, oh, it's just me. It's just like a twitch or something like that.
Right.
Or some kind of twitch, or even some kind of twitching around your things that affect your senses, your sense organs, that you lost control for a split of a second.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody enduring that on a consistent basis.
Wow.
That's a minuscule of what people that hear voices in their head experience. Okay, so that's a person who feels lost in a relationship. 20 years we're talking about. It's not just they woke up 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a saying. It's a slow death that's been happening over time.
Yes.
And the best thing for that person to do is to realize that that's me. You know, when people say it's not me, it's not you,
it's not you, it's me. It's real.
That's real. That's real. You know, yeah, they're about to go get with somebody else because they think it's a quick fix for whatever they're going through emotionally. They feel like I'm disconnected. You know, I completely understand it when you don't know any better. That, you know what, if I could just replace that other human being, that will solve it. No, it won't. In fact, it can potentially destroy everything you care about.
It could, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because sometimes, like I said, you have to get to that edge to suddenly appreciate
what you have.
Yeah. You know, gratitude is not the easiest things in the world. I found out that a couple of things are very hard to do hard for us as human beings. One of them is consistency, to be consistent.
Consistency.
It's very hard to be consistent because we get bored. Same reasons.
Yes.
Right? We get bored, want to switch strategies. We think that if you go the shortcut, you compare yourself to another person's life, you know.
Yeah, that's not good.
You know, and it's a known fact of life that slow and steady wins all the time. I don't care what you're measuring. It could be money, it could be happiness. Slow and steady is the best thing that you want to have. But anyway, so that's consistency. The second thing is gratitude. A lot of people pray and say, I thank you, God, thank you, Lord, but they don't
understand what they are even.
They don't live that life of thank you. Just the attitude of thank you. They don't live that life. It's hard to live that life because you know why it's hard? Because we tend to when you don't go become a student of life, right? And relationships, self-development student. If you don't become that, what you find is that you always have an outlook on what's bad about your life. That's the first place that your mind go to always.
It's true.
You're always thinking what is bad about your life. You
don't look at the good part of your life.
Yeah, it's you know, and it's the same thing you do with your spouse. You're always thinking about what is wrong with him. There are good things about him. If I put you into an exercise,
you forget that in that moment.
Yes, there are good things about him or her, but we tend to, you know, our mind goes to, why is it that breaking news is always bad news on CNN? Because we get entertained by that more.
Yeah, the same reason why negativity rocks the world.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. We used to do a show. We started YouTube. Actually, those YouTube channels are slapped. You know, YouTube has always been insulting and harassing us for a long time. We were like the first YouTubers ever before they called the YouTuber.
Wait, 2009?
2009.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we used to talk about celebrities at that time because
Nollywood
stuff, because it was, you know, you talk about all these bad things that happen with these people, and it seemed entertaining, but it was
draining. It was draining.
It takes a toll on you that you're actually given that.
Yeah, I personally didn't like it because I felt like I don't want to be one of those people promoting negativity. I'd rather put in some positivity in this life. You know, I don't want to be remembered for something like that. And those people are going through their shit through the public eye.
Right.
Even though they put themselves out there, they still deserve some empathy.
For me, I didn't mind. I'll be honest, I didn't mind. I mean, because what you did at the time is that you tell me what happened with somebody, and I would just say my opinion about it.
Yeah.
But for me at the time, at that time, monetizing YouTube was not a thing for me. So I question any activity that I do that's not productive for me. So after a while, at one point I said we should do seasons by seasons. So we have breaks and stuff like that. And that's what we did back then. But yeah, I wanted to pull out the point that it's entertaining to talk about bad things that happen. So channels like this, there are actually very big channels talk about positive things like this, but it's usually because it's slow and steady, or they brought a brand from somewhere else and they have people following. Like if Oprah starts masterclass, right? Life class and stuff like that's Oprah. So it's understandable why it grew very fast, but if we were here talking about somebody, excuse me, Bobrisky or somebody, or Bobrisky had a baby for a man, and the man didn't know for 20 years that it was his baby or something, we would find that entertaining.
People will find that entertaining.
It's the same. We're all like that. Even in our relationships, we see negative about the person more than we see
positive.
The positive is the point I'm trying to make. So as a person going through personal growth, you want to now deliberately tell yourself, I know that's a feature, that's a characteristic of us, but if I want better, if I want life that's better than most people's life, if I want to enjoy relationships better than most people enjoy relationships, then I have to be deliberate about how I lead, how I see my spouse, how I see my relationships.
Right.
Just choose to see the best in them. Your mind always assume the worst case scenario. That's where fear comes from, right? Like, oh, boom. Your mind goes to the worst case scenario, right? What if it's just something positive, right? That takes a lot of work. That takes growth, a tremendous amount of growth. Personally, to get into that place where when something happens, you think best case scenario. You think...
just take time out in that moment.
Yes, time is definitely a part of it.
You feel like, right now you feel like overreacting. You're mad. You're angry. 5 minutes. Just walk.
You're mad. You're angry. You feel disconnected. You feel like you've been in a prison yard for 20 years, and you can't even figure it out. See, some people can figure it. They know why. Some people see that this guy's a jackass, is an asshole.
But some people don't know.
Some people don't know why. If you don't know why, and you really feel sorry and you're feeling guilty and stuff like that, that's self-development issues. That's God missing in your life. That's personal purpose missing in your life. You're disconnected from those things. When you're disconnected from the GPS, you will feel disconnected from a spouse that you don't even know why you're disconnected from them. Okay, so we're not talking physical violence. We're not talking about physical abuse. We're not talking about verbal, emotional abuse or anything like that. That you've identified as that. We're talking about you don't even know why.
You're lost.
When you're confused, it's time to learn something new.
I agree.
It's time to learn something new. Because if you don't do that, what you find is that you start seeking happiness on the outside of you, and the end of that is destruction. I don't know how you want to shape it from it. I don't know exactly how the destruction is going to come to you. It comes to everyone in different forms, but it's destruction. It's destruction because you're self-destructing. And by the way, we do self-destruction slowly. It's not always like some catastrophe that happened, like fatal affair. No, it's not always that. It's like you're destroying yourself slowly. You're destroying your self-esteem. You're destroying your own self-worthiness. Because the only thing that happens when you get clingy, needy, and you seek happiness from other people is that you just feel less and less of yourself. Like it doesn't. If the person give in to you, if the person wants to manipulate you, they will give in to you. Like there are people that look for, like for example, this dude was looking for a blank in her. that he could feel. And that's what they do. They will look for a void that they can feel. Okay. As opposed to, by the way, that's what everyone that wants to engage in seduction should do. You look for a void, you feel it. The only thing we ask is do positive things, fill it with positive.
Right.
But that's what they do. They fill it with positive first, or seemingly positive, and then they destroy. And then they strike when you least suspect.
When you're vulnerable. Yeah. Absolutely.
But it starts with like slow. It's like a slow death. It's like slow self-destruction. And that's why we're talking about secret. All she had to do, that person that I asked the question, I said, if he walked into that restaurant, right, would he be afraid? Would she be shaking? Right? If she would be shaking, at that point, something is wrong with that activity that he had going on. Something is wrong with respect to, is going to destroy what she cared about. Because if there was nothing wrong, she wouldn't be scared. So what happened after that? What happened after the fact is that right there, the husband texted her, right? Just after I asked you that question, the husband texted her and said, are you and Courtney having fun? That's the friend that they were supposed to be together, but she's with another man. She didn't mean anything. She didn't want to have an affair, but she's definitely missing something. She's suffering emotionally from him. So it's like marriage made in heaven. It was like the right timing. It always seemed like the right timing. That strange person always come to your life at the right
strange
time.
Man or woman.
Man or woman. Yeah. They always come at that right timing. It always seems like you're missing something emotionally at that point in time, or you're not even thinking about it. But you are. But in the midst of you talking, he will pull that thing out of you, and that's the weapon that is going to
use against you.
That's how the devil operates.
That's true.
He doesn't come and use something that you're completely strange to. It's something that seems familiar to you, right? And then he will pull it out of you. You will use your own mouth to say it, your own secret. You will use that secret and use it to haunt you and strike, and then destruction. And then when I say destruction, for the most part, I'm talking emotionally. I'm talking about right now, you don't know what's going on with you. Right now, you're feeling disconnected, and that's a secret away from your significant other. And you can feel it, because we're spirits. We have radar for bullshit. They can feel it, but they don't know exactly what it is. They can't put their finger on you, on what's wrong with you, but they can feel that something is missing, but you don't tell them. The best person to tell, if you know that you're married to the right person, that's if you know. If you don't know if you're married to the right person or not, you need to find out. You talk to people and this is how I'm feeling, But even if you are going to move on, which we don't encourage or discourage, that's completely a person's choice, right? Even if you're going to move on into other relationships, don't make sure you stay clear off of other people's spirits. You need to build yourself first, right?
So you can attract the right person.
So you can attract the right person, because what you're going to attract is the worst, okay? It's the worst you're going to attract. If a person sees a person that's emotionally not available, right? And they decide to want to be with you at that point in time, right? Excuse me, hold on. All right. So, what was I saying, baby?
If you're with someone, if you're with someone that is emotionally unavailable, what are you talking about?
Everybody on Instagram heard us, by the way. I didn't mute Instagram. But that's okay. That's our secret. So if you're, what was it?
We're talking about emotionally unavailable people.
If somebody knows that you're emotionally unavailable, which means you're with somebody already, and they want to mess with you, they're okay with messing with you at that point in time. They're not wrong, but that's the weakest human being you can want to be with. Okay? Because they also have found themselves in a place where they threw the right thing out the window, right? They because that's what the dude was saying. It was like, we could do this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you scared or something?
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to use that to manipulate her,
Right.
because he knew
It's a
that she had a
relationship.
void too,
Yes.
you know, and she did have a void. That's why she almost fucked the dude in the bathroom in the club. That's real. It happens in real life. It can happen to anyone. Entanglement everywhere.
Entanglement is real.
You know,
Yeah.
so he used that to blackmail, used the secret to blackmail her. The best thing when you see somebody trying to blackmail you with some weird ass secret, it's going to cost you a lot more if you don't release that secret into space, into the universe. Tell the person that's directly involved. If that's your husband, tell them.
I agree.
Okay. The worst that they will do is they don't want to be with you anymore.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's better than somebody using that over your head or using that to manipulate you, using that to.
And you can't have a peace of mind and then you end up killing each other and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's basically what secret is. You know, we're rounding up right now. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
If you keep certain type of secret, a secret that somebody will use to blackmail you is really the answer. If there's somebody that will use a secret to blackmail you, release the secret. Let it go.
Put it out.
Temporarily, just like you're suffering inside already anyway, temporarily your relationship may suffer because they just found out something you've been keeping from them for a while.
Yes.
But that's temporary too. They will respect you unless it gets too late. Even sometimes when it seems too late, that's why you see that Will Jada situation seems strange to people. Whatever that secret was, they let it out 2 years ago, wherever that was, and they've moved on, and they just happen to have to address something in the press for the first time. That's what that is. Let the secret go. Tell it.
And I mean, their friendship saved them.
Tell it. Because imagine if August Asina was saying that for the first time in the press and Will Smith never knew. That would destroy everything they have going on, to destroy that trust just that much more again, right? So don't, I would say if your secret is bothering you, you probably should tell it. If it's bothering you, you probably should tell it. If it's not bothering you, if somebody's trying to use to blackmail you, you call it blackmail, that means it's bothering you. That means it's time to tell it. All right. So thank you so much. Please click thumbnails, click thumbnails everywhere, because if you do that, YouTube will slap our video a lot less. Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, please give thumbnails. I don't know. It's probably algorithm triggers and stuff like that. It's probably not about us. But we've been live right now for another hour on YouTube, and we seem like we're safe. Live is loading right now. Okay, we're still safe. We're still safe on YouTube. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. Share, like, give it a thumbs up. If we have a hater, never know if you have a hater. Yesterday, I actually thought it was one of Hubie Franklin's haters.
What?
That's what I thought.
Jesus.
If we have a hater out there.
Oh my God. Pause due to poor connection. Talk about focusing on negative things and then it expands, right? See, I tell you all the time, dude.
But
stop.
I was saying positive. I said, give it a thumbs up so that we have more positive than negative. Right. Just never know. All right. If you do that, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Comment. Your questions help us as well.
Thank you.
To continue to assess this thing. This is our own therapy session. We do it every Friday at 5 p.m. And you can join us anytime. All right. Thank you, Jummy Girl. Thank you guys. It's coming in late, but we're ending the session now. We'll see you on the next one next Friday, 5 p.m. New York time. Peace.
Take care, guys. Stay safe. Rona is real.